Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Know Your Mods. It's been a while since we've had one. We're actually in a little bit of a different studio. But today, we're going to be talking about MBRP, a manufacturer of exhaust from all the way from Ontario, Canada. And I have a special guest, Nick, all the way there from MBRP.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am Nick from MBRP. I am not all the way from Ontario, Canada, though. I live here in the lower 48, just like the rest of you, or the 90% of you that will hopefully buy this exhaust.
So we've got the new Golf R exhaust here for the MK7 7.5.
That is correct, yeah.
We're going to talk about it through the episode, but the first thing I got to ask is, how did MBRP get started?
So MBRP, which stands for Martin Barkey Racing Products, got started by a guy named Martin Barkey, who is my boss and the founder of the company. He was an avid snowmobiler, was doing some snowcross, which is like snowmobile racing. And if you guys have ever been snowmobiling, it's really designed to be like a family activity, you know, and so these things aren't, or at least weren't originally made for competition purposes. So early on in the days, he was like stripping weight off, and just like anything motorized, guys want to race each other, right? It's like the spirit. So he needed to be a little faster. He was trying to pull weight off of his snow sled, and kind of came up with one of the first commercial snow cans that would save weight and make power. So he was going around the country selling at snow shows, snowmobile exhaust out of a van. And then eventually he bought a truck to pull a trailer, and he was looking at that exhaust and decided he could improve that. So he put an exhaust on his diesel truck because he wanted to be cool, I think, also was part of the deal. And eventually somebody at his show said, I could sell those. So he started making a private label for a guy out of Tennessee called Western Exhaust. And then he's like, well, wait a second, I can make these. I'm already making them. So MBRP expanded into diesel truck exhaust, and we did that for a long time. I came on board in 2008. We decided to diversify out of diesel truck into gas truck originally. We thought it was a close crossover. There were some emissions issues with something called the diesel particulate filter at the time. Anyway, long story. Now we're making gas truck exhaust. We grew into that business. And then Martin one day went and bought himself a Mustang and was really into this Mustang and thought we could make exhaust for this. So we attacked the muscle car market, and we focused on it for quite some time. That was a really good business for us. And then most recently, Martin has gotten into IMSA, and he started, I think he just won actually the IMSA Continental Grand Prix Series last year in an Acura NSX. And we've decided to focus on the sport compact market, or sports car is actually what we're calling it, because we make everything from NSXs, Supras, to Ford Focus STs, which are our traditional sports compact.
Right. So the racing is obviously influencing the company.
Absolutely.
So how does that influence the way these exhausts are being made?
So at MBRP, we really believe that form follows function, right? Everything we do is about how do I make horsepower, or how do I make my car work better. And we're not blind to the fact that exhaust is the only part you're going to buy for your car that is both performance modification and an accessory. So it has to look good and sound good, but it starts on the dyno. We have an all-wheel dyno. We dyno test everything. We have a flow bench. We flow bench everything. We spend a lot of time working on that. Once we have the kit performing at the peak ability that we can get it to, the most power we can squeeze out of the unit. And in turbo cars, generally, we also want to upflow because we expect modifications. So we're looking for what's this going to do for the owner across multiple future mods too, right? Then we start focusing on, okay, well, most of our customers install these kits at home. Your exhaust kit is your return to manhood, right? Like your granddaddy stormed the beaches of Normandy, your old man was the Mekong Delta, you know what I mean? And all you've done is be worried about COVID for a little bit. So this is a good chance to go to your garage, crack out your tools, and earn your man cards. We also differentiate looks because, like I said, performance mod and visual accessory. So we've got carbon fiber for this specific application. We've got carbon fiber tips and a 304 stainless steel tip. And we're constantly evolving. Now we have black coated tips. We're coming out with a tie tip. It allows the customer to get a lot of modification. If you've got blacked out rims and you want black exhaust tips, MBRP has an application for you. If you've got a lot of carbon fiber accents, you want carbon tips, MBRP has an application for you. So we're trying to help our customer make his vehicle bespoke as possible to their specific needs in life.
And unique.
That's it. That's right.
So guys, if you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe, hit the like button, make a comment, and we'll try to respond back. It helps us out, and we really appreciate it. Thanks again.
While you're throwing likes around, head on over to MBRP too.
go into the process on making this exhaust. Let's maybe use this exhaust as the example.
Sure.
And the process that goes through at MBRP.
So we have a design team, right? A group of engineers, and what they'll do is they'll take the factory unit, they'll take it off, they'll flow bench it, they'll look at it, they'll look for areas where they can save, weight and streamline. And then we try to make the least amount of bends as possible, and they get into it, right? Like on this particular kit, when they built the first system, it probably had too much drone. So they added this high pulse resonator, which really knocks drone out. Common fix for turbo cars. It's a little more expensive, but it does the job so that the car's comfortable to drive in. It's got a nice extra large bracket. Another cool thing is we've got this AccuSeal swivel clamp. Turn this over. You'll see here that this is a ball joint with an AccuSeal swivel. Because there's nothing worse, okay? You install your kit, right? Your whole goal is to return your manly roots, and now your exhaust tips look like this, and instead of being like the hero, you're the zero on the street. We don't want that to happen to our customers. So we spend a little extra on premium features like this so that the install goes better for our customer. Ultimately, when the design team is done, and they think they've got a good part and they've written all the installation instructions, a boxed kit like you would get on your doorstep, the first one, goes to Martin's house. And he will then install it himself, and you can actually follow him on Instagram and see him every application go through this. He'll install it himself on the hoist, go through the instructions just like you would at home and say, hey, this needs to be reversed in order, or this isn't clear because I wasn't sure which pipe went where. Because 90-something% of our kits are shipped to the home and installed by the end consumer. Right. So that experience, we want it to be a good experience for our customer. And then he makes a bunch of notes, and he'll usually take Mrs. MBRP for a spin if she's not available, one of his two sons. And they'll drive. They've got an abandoned airstrip, so they can do a bunch of different things. Hill climbs, just all over the neighborhood.
He has an abandoned airstrip that he's doing his test drive.
Yeah, it's in the town of Huntsville. There's an abandoned airstrip they let him get on and do rips on.
I wish I had that myself.
Yeah, dude. It's Huntsville, Ontario, Canada, man. It's like north, the other side of the ice road north. So he drives around there, does this whole spiel, and if he's happy with the sound, it becomes a kit. Maybe they make some changes to the markups. If he's unhappy, he'll send it back to design, and it's not uncommon for kits to go 2, 3, 4 times. We just had an issue with the valve was making a rattle on the valve.
Yeah.
And our design team was furious. I mean, they had probably 8 revisions into that kit. But if it's not right for Martin, it's not right for our customers.
I love these Rangers. This little truck screams. The neat part is I can hear.
So why is there so many different types of metals? There's some options. I believe in this one, there's only the stainless steel option.
There's only 3 or 4 in this particular application. It may expand over time. So we've got aluminized, which is mild steel with a coating. We've got 409 stainless and 304 stainless. And you might be wondering what difference is that? And that's a function of something called ferrous content or impurities, right? Like if you think about your wedding ring, you could have bought it in 14 karat gold or 18 karat gold, and it had to do with how much gold was in the wedding ring. Same thing is true with stainless steel. 304 is the good stuff. Everything else is really crap. With stainless, you can't stick a magnet to it. It's as good as it gets. 409 is like stainless, but it will surface rust and look bad, but it'll never rust through, so it still comes with a lifetime warranty. And aluminized is nothing like stainless, and over time will eventually rust through and fall off your car, which is why it comes with a much more limited warranty. But we understand that everybody comes to their modifications with a different budget. And so we add applications based on the kind of consumer, what we expect the consumer's needs are, right? Like I was a kid once working a crappy job, and all I wanted was a set of rims and wheels and tires for my Jeep, you know what I mean? And if once I exhaust those resources, if I want an exhaust kit, I've only got so much budget. So I'm gonna have the truck 3 or 5 years where I live in Arizona, where rust isn't something I'm worried about. Yeah. Aluminized gets the job done. I get all the performance gains I wanted without breaking the bank.
And the one thing that I like about it is you're not charging extra for the material cost.
No.
It's really just
It just
material
really
cost.
is the material cost, yeah.
Right.
It's what we pay per linear foot for the material difference, because the engineering costs is spread evenly across all the systems.
One of the big things that I've noticed about MBRP is that it falls right in that sweet value line. And how is it that you're able to make it so affordable? Like, how's your philosophy? How is it that MBRP is so affordable for so many people?
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because we do consider our market niche to be the value brand, right? We know we're not the most expensive and we're not the cheapest imported product on the market either. We are prime. Everything is made in our facility in Huntsville, so we have that good consistency, which people come to appreciate. But we're also not as expensive as a supercharger, right? We're not trying to eat up all of your modification budget. There's a few different ways to price a product. One of them is what I like to call car in the driveway pricing, right? So like if you've got a $100,000 car, you must want to pay $4,000 for an exhaust or $3,000. Or there's the cost plus strategy, which is what we employ. This is what we have in terms of design hours. This is how many mufflers and tips there are. Right. This is what it's going to take us to build this kit. This is the margin we need to keep our lights on, right? And then this is that drives the retail price point for the consumer.
So if the guy has a Porsche 911, he's still just paying the normal price. He's not paying a luxury taxes.
We've got a 911 center muffler delete kit right now for under $1,000 in our lineup. Our competitors' kits are more than double that. And sometimes we almost wonder if we're too cheap if people think that we're not a good enough quality part because of the way that we price things. But we're committed to providing a good value for our customers, and we like customers for life. You know what I mean? We want to be on this car and the next car and the car after that you built, because life's about relationships at the end of the day.
Nick, I appreciate your time. I mean, this is a really good Know Your Mod about MBRP. We are going to do some videos for you guys on a before and after with the Golf R, so you guys can hear it. There's some other videos. We'll be doing more videos on it. And again, if you guys have any questions for us in the comments, for myself or for Nick, we'll be responding on there for you guys. Again, appreciate it. Thanks again, guys.
Okay, you want to get some lunch product of some kind? Anybody hungry? I didn't realize I was going so fast.